platform. And I'm pleased to say that Lafarge Africa was one of the listed companies honored during this event. Indeed, today's event goes one step further in establishing Lafarge Africa and its brand as a leader in the sustainability space in Nigeria. I want to thank again everyone who has joined us online today. I encourage you to please participate fully during the interactive session. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to call on Mr. Khalid El Dokani, the Chief Executive Officer of Lafarge, to give us some prepared remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Temi, and it's always my pleasure and our pleasure as Lafarge Africa to be a participating member in your agglomerate events. As the CEO of Nigeria Exchange Limited, my greatest appreciation for the opportunity. The Executive Committee, Nigeria Exchange Limited, Lafarge Africa PLC, Chairman, board members, Executive Committee and staff, the media, all stakeholders, shareholders, and the public. It's my great honor and pleasure to be with you today. It's our pleasure to welcome you to the Lafarge Africa PLC Facts Behind the Sustainability Report. We are delighted to share the account of our performance for 2021 with our valued stakeholders. Lafarge Africa, being a member of Wholesome, the world's innovative and sustainable building solution provider, has fully enlisted sustainability at its core values. It continues to be a main value driver for our strategy and operations. We have established that we are an organization inspired by the purpose of building progress for people and the planet. Through the reporting year, we remain focused on our ambition and goals to deliver innovative and sustainable solutions while ensuring that we improve our footprint in the Nigeria society. An organization, we're gradually transitioning from the effect and the impact of the I'm still there?
Yes, we can see you now. We lost you for a few seconds there. Thank you.
Through the reporting year, we remain focused on our ambition and goals to deliver innovative and sustainable solutions while ensuring that we improve our footprint in the Nigerian society. As organizations, we gradually transitioning from the impact of the global pandemic, and we continue to pursue set corporate and sustainability goals and targets. With the stewardship of our sustainability performance in 2021, we have just made our first attempt at integrated reporting. This is one of the ways that we are demonstrating our commitment on this course, aligning our financial and non-financial performance as an organization. Our 4 sustainability pillars were updated: climate and energy, circular economy, nature, and above all, people, which remains the core of all Lafarge Africa efforts. To strengthen our footprints, these 4 pillars enabled us to attain new milestones in our journey. And here, if you allow me to demonstrate some of the ways that we are building progress for people and the planet per sustainability pillar through the highlighted of our performance. On climate and energy, following the conversion of Evekoro Plant 1 to a more modern system of backhouse dust collection system, dust emissions experienced a significant decrease to 156 grams per ton of cementitious materials in 2021. This is a 69% reduction from the previous year, which is below the Nigerian regulatory limits. On the circular economy, this model continues to be a lever for us to create environmental and economic and social impact. Over 89,000 tons of waste were used in 2021, achieving economic and social impacts, a 25% increase in the use of waste through our geocycle business to support eco-manufacturing. Additionally, we were able to create 3,000 jobs around the waste management and the geocycle business. On the nature side, our focus on nature is all-encompassing. We are paying more attention to water and biodiversity. In 2021, Lafarge Africa recycled a total of 446,000 cubic meters of water across Evekoro, Famozane, and Ashaka plants. Also, 600 hectares of land within our quarries are rehabilitated with 16,500 seedlings planted. On the people, we continue to partner with people in our host communities and beyond. Over Naira 2 billion were invested in corporate social investments, and 124,000 direct beneficiaries were positively impacted. Our sustainability targets enable us to innovate, positively influence, and aim for continuous improvement. We are committed to partnering with our various stakeholders to ensure that our journey is progressive and future fit. I would like to appreciate the entire board of Lafarge Africa, our chairman, our stakeholders, and our staff, under whose leadership we are improving our environmental, social, and governance performance. The executive committee, the employees of our partners, and our partners have demonstrated for their unreserved commitment and support towards achieving our sustainability goals. For sure, I would also like to thank Nigeria Exchange Group for championing sustainability and creating platforms such as this one. I'm delighted about the numerous opportunities we can foresee in the future to solidify our company and our society progressing for the better of the people and the planet. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's my honor, it's our honor as Lafarge Africa to be demonstrating our sustainability report for 2021. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khalid, for the remarks. We've just listened to remarks from Mr. Khalid Eldukani. He's the CEO of Lafarge Africa PLC. Thank you very much, sir. So now we'll move into the facts behind the sustainability report presentation by the head Sustainable Development and Corporate Brand, Titilope Oguntuga. Over to you, Ma.
Good afternoon again, and thank you all for joining us. Our theme for the 2021 Sustainability Report is Delivering Sustainable Solutions for a Green Future. And some of the things that inspired that theme were some of the milestones that we recorded in 2021. As a matter of fact, and despite the limitations of the pandemic, 2021 was a year that we further embraced sustainability as a team. And when I say a team at Lafarge Africa, it was also a year that we leveraged a lot more partnerships. We set new targets for all of our sustainability pillars. And as a matter of fact, we also continued to collaborate and innovate on in different dimensions. And you would see during the course of my presentation, some of the things that we were able to achieve. I'll run us through this very quickly with the executive summary focusing on 4 major pillars. One is our commitment to sustainability. I'm glad that Khalid had shared a bit about that, but I'll strengthen that during the course of my presentation. We'll also look at the frameworks and the principles that we adopted all through the year 2021, and of course to prepare the report. The third item is the highlights of our 2021 performance. And finally, for us, what does the big picture look like? What is the future looking like for us at Lafarge Africa when it comes to sustainability? As we commemorate or launch the 2021 Sustainability Report, I'd like to share with us that it is our first attempt at integrated reporting. And one of the things that we did in preparing this report is to keep in focus the 6 fundamental capitals of integrated reporting and align those GRI standards. Now, to take us a bit into the picture, 2 things happened significantly in 2021. We've always had 4 sustainability pillars, but we had to lean on quite a number of things happening globally and how we could expand our ambitions to achieve, a 360-degree more holistic approach to sustainability. So based on this, our environment pillar became nature and our community pillar became people. And I'll share a bit on these 2 pillars. For environment, we focused really on, the environment, the emissions and all of that. But from 2021, we focused, when we revisited that particular pillar, we refocused on biodiversity and we refocused on water. So in addition to some of the things that we would typically be addressing under environment, biodiversity and water becomes, key critical success factors for us in this journey. On the people pillar, we moved from community because we understand that our community is not even just our stakeholders and the communities in which we operate. There are other larger, more specific indicators that we would measure in communities. So for example, for people, we have adopted gender diversity as one of the key pillars under people. Some other things that fall under this category will be human rights and of course, social impact with our various stakeholders. To prepare this report, this has been our mandatory process. Rigorous data capturing for us as a business on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and on a quarterly basis. And this is to guarantee the credibility of information or data that we are recording, for our operations. I had mentioned that we, explored the 6 capitals of integrated reporting. However, we adopted this, in the full length of the GRI standards relevant to integrated reporting. And the final aspect is the assurance process, where all the data that we provided were validated to ensure that the indicators and our key targets, form part of the independent management report that enables us to improve on this sustainability journey. Now, we understand that it is very critical for an organization of our size and standing to be able to align financial and non-financial performance. For us, it is one of the ways that we are aligning our own corporate purpose with our corporate performance. And so on this slide, I'll be sharing with you some of the highlights of our 2021 performance financially, where our net sales grew by 27% and our recurring EBIT growth was at about 43%. Despite doing this, we continue to leverage and employ, the Sustainable Development Goals, the 10 principles of the United Nations Global Compact, and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development principles to guide all of our interests, our actions, our efforts on this journey. And this is one of the ways, to show to all of our stakeholders that organizations that do well, that do good will ultimately do well. And this our performance, shows for it. Now we are not mindful, we are very mindful of the most material issues to us. And some of the ways that we continue to revalidate the issues to us, not just as a business, but a business also operating in an industry, is to continue to engage our stakeholders. We have an inclusive stakeholder management system and an inclusive stakeholder feedback system that helps us and enables us to, identify these key issues. With us identifying these key issues, we are able to better adopt pragmatic solutions that help us to, scale impacts, that help us to partner, that enable us to also progress on this journey. So for us, we've highlighted the top 5 here. 1, carbon emissions, which is very peculiar to our industry, climate change risk, energy consumption, and efficiency. As we all know, the cement industry is very energy intensive, and so that is one of the areas that we are also focusing on as a business. Energy transition risks are also very important to us, and of course, eco-manufacturing. Some of the things that we are doing around our packaging, our processes, our value chain to ensure that from end to end, we continue to enable a green future. For the full materiality matrix. It is available in the entire sustainability report that is on our website. And we will share that website link with you in the chat during the course of this webinar. We move very quickly to the highlights. On the climate and energy, we recorded 598 kilograms of tons per cementitious material. We have a target at wholesale to get to 520 within the next 1 year. And we know that with all of the efforts that we have put in place, starting from January 2022, we are inching closer more deliberately to that target that we have set. Our thermal substitution rate is at 9%. And for this particularly, we recorded an increase. For circular economy, which is one of our other sustainability pillars, like Khalid rightly mentioned, we co-processed 89,000 tons of waste, and we created 3,000 jobs. In a year that people were just gradually transiting from, the lockdown in 2020, this provided a lot of comfort for our stakeholders across that value chain, from the suppliers to the transporters and to everyone who worked with us to be able to achieve this. Through this, we were able to use about 1.4 billion gigajoules of energy as renewable source of energy in clinker production. We move very quickly to nature. For nature, we recorded 157.7 liters per ton for cement production. And for our ready-mix concrete business, we recorded 204 liters per metric cube of concrete that was used. But beyond this, for nature, we had quite a lot of water withdrawal done. We also recycled water. One of the things that I'd like to call out, which is also an improvement from year 2020, is that all of our operating sites and factories have 100% certification for ISO 14001. And this continues to help us to demonstrate that as a business, we are committed to sustainability, we are committed to doing the right things, and we are committed to ensuring that even as we progress, we are carrying along all our stakeholders and we are engaging rightly. Finally, for people, we had corporate social investments of about 2.3 billion. In 2020, we expended 1.2 billion on social investments. And that's a huge shift, an additional 1 billion naira spent on corporate social investments by the end of 2021. We were able to impact 124,000 direct beneficiaries through our various interventions in the year under review. Also noteworthy to mention is that we have a group of volunteers who are employees who are committed to creating social impact in the communities and strengthening their social footprints and our social footprints as a business. Based on this, we were able to record over 4,000 volunteering contact hours in host communities within Lagos, Ewekoro and Shagamu, Famosing, Ashaka, and in some other sites like Port Harcourt, where we have ready-mix plants, and Abuja as well. To share a bit more about some of the things that we are excited about at Lafarge Africa, in 2021, we launched about 50 LNG trucks. And this is a further demonstration for us of all of our commitments to ensure that we are creating a green future all through our value chain from end to end. The launch of the LNG trucks helped us to reduce our carbon emissions, also empowered our green logistics initiative as a business. For our depots, we had to install solar panels to ensure that we are not only creating a consistent supply of power, but we are also able to do it in a very environmentally friendly manner. Through our Women on Wheels initiative at Lafarge, we trained over 50 women, and about 50 women also graduated through this initiative that ran at the Lafarge Drivers Institute. One of the things that this did for us was that we were able to now create, a network of empowered women who were doing great stuff, who were skilled, to also work in a male-dominated industry. The Ogun Isolation Center is one other project that we also are happy about, because in 2021, it was also a demonstration that public-private partnership works, and that it is the way to help us scale impact. As we already know, Sustainable Development Goal 17 speaks to partnership for the goals, and through all of our innovations, we were able to ensure that people within that metropolis, had a safe space to be catered for under very hygienic conditions. For us, what does the future look like? We will continue to drive innovation at the heart of our business. We know that innovation is strongly linked to sustainability. We also have a large network of professionals around the world. One of the things that we've done over the years is to continue to leverage that network as a member of HOSTIM, to share best practices, to partner beyond regions, beyond sites, to deliver more impact. Policy and advocacy and partnerships will also remain at the heart of what we do, and we will continue to strengthen collaborative efforts in this regard. Now, what we don't get, what we don't monitor does not, or what we don't measure does not get monitored, and what we don't monitor does not get measured. It goes both ways. So for us, impact monitoring and evaluation is critical, and we will continue to drive impact monitoring and evaluation as a business. For us, we've set very ambitious targets. One of those are net zero ambitions, and it's one of the ways that we continue to demonstrate that we are building progress for people and the planet. On a final note, we are committed to making the world greener, smarter, but not just that, to ensure that we make it work for all including our regulators, our partners, our stakeholders, our service providers, our suppliers, our employees, who are a critical mass and contributing, very positively to our sustainability journey at Lafarge. We understand that, sustainability is progressive. We know what we should do. We are taking note of this, and we continue to, leverage partnership, our collaboration as a team, working with other stakeholders like Nigeria Exchange Limited to continue to deliver on our sustainability ambitions. For us, building progress for people and planet is linked to that sustainability pillar, prosperity for all. And our commitment is to ensure that we continue to create and sustain stakeholder value across board. On a final note, we have the pleasure to share with you our 2021 stewardship titled Delivering Sustainable Building Solutions for a Green Future. This can be accessed on the Lafarge website pointed here, and would also be shared in the chat box. And we look forward to your comments, your partnerships, and opportunities for us to work together to scale impact. This particular slide is very interesting because it just shows highlights of some of our interventions in 2021 and some of the recognitions that we also got as a business, which have been highlighted in the sustainability report. Thank you all, and looking forward to more partnership, more collaboration as we progress on this journey. Thank you.
We have just listened to the facts behind the sustainability report presentation from Lafarge Africa PLC as delivered by Titilope Ogunsuga, the head sustainable development and corporate brand Lafarge Africa PLC. Thank you very much for the detailed presentation. Thank you for delivering the facts behind the sustainability report from your organization. And to all our attendees, thank you for your questions so far. As we proceed into the Q&A session, I would like to encourage you to continue to share your questions via the Q&A feature on your screen. Without further delay, let's get into the Q&A session. So we have a couple questions from market analysts. We have about 5 of them. Hopefully you would have the time to go. The first question is, well done to the Lafarge Africa management team for the consistency in publishing sustainability reports and presenting this report to capital market stakeholders. So it says, what are the key challenges in the most recent sustainability reports published by Lafarge Africa compared to last year's report? Has Lafarge Africa adopted any new reporting frameworks for its sustainability reports, demonstrated significant progress in its approach to sustainability? Is the company looking to issue any sustainability-related financial instruments in the near future? So I'll direct this question to the CEO, Lafarge Africa PLC, Mr. Khalid Eldukani. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Loretta. And I'll give part of the answer, and maybe I'll leave the second part to Titi to elaborate more. But on the first question, from one year to the other, I think the main challenge is how can we improve more? How can we be more reflective, more transparent on recognizing the initiatives, the challenges? And the more and more you try to provide value and reliable information, the challenge is always there. We consider it as a positive challenge because this is the trend. But when I compare last year's report to this year's report, I think all the shareholders and the stakeholders would find that there are more information, more elaboration on tasks, more transparency and quantification to the initiatives compared to the previous year. And we believe this is a continuous improvement that we are planning to demonstrate from one year to the other.
Thank you very much, sir. Hello, Titi Lokpe, would you like to answer any other parts of the questions or?
Okay, so I'd like to speak to the question around, the sustainability reporting process. One thing that we are particularly proud of is that year on year, there's been a collective ownership of sustainability at Lafarge. So sustainability has gone beyond a function or a department to, everybody's responsibility. So that's one thing that, I'd like to share. However, we have frameworks in place, and I'm speaking to some of the challenges now. We have frameworks in place that help us to validate and revalidate information. And that is to guarantee the credibility of our disclosures. So because we have quite a couple of reporting frameworks internally that we have to meet, requirements that we have to meet internally, it takes a bit of time. Everybody is checking and double checking and double checking. So that is one of the things that, helps us to, really drag our, sustainability reporting process a bit longer than planned. But overall, the experience is positive. I believe that my colleagues enjoy it. And you would notice that even in our sustainability report, we do highlight, the contributors to the report. So it's everybody's responsibility, and we are getting used to, the reporting frameworks that we've set for ourselves internally to ensure the credibility of our disclosures.
Thank you very much for your response to the questions. The next question is, investors are increasingly interested in companies that pay close attention to both their financial and non-financial performance. Noting that Lafarge has demonstrated significant progress in its approach to sustainability, is the company looking to issue any sustainability-related financial instruments in the near future? Over to you, sir.
Well, I believe this is one of our goals and objectives. If you look at this year's report, you will find that there are more quantification in terms of percentages in water consumption per cubic meter or per ton of cement. The number of recycled liters of waters or cubic meters of waters has been identified. Probably our task for next year report is to furnish values and more quantification to these KPIs in going forward. So yes, it is in our agenda. And we started by really the monetary KPIs, where it's indicating by either cubic meter or by ton. Probably next year we will be able to quantify more in terms of values.
All right, thank you very much for your response. Would you need to add anything, Tito, to what he said? Okay, all right, thank you very much. The third question is also from a market analyst, is asking, Lafarge Africa appears to be adopting a proactive approach to achieving net zero emissions. Kindly share some of your key initiatives implemented and progress made during the reporting period. Over to you, sir.
Well, as we explained, I mean, the dust emission reduction in Evekoro Plant 1 was one of the steps, and it was a very prudent step because we had to stop the line for about 9 months, and we took the financial consequences of doing that, but I think we were extremely committed to deliver such an element. Our strong initiatives on introducing waste management, alternative fuels, increasing our contribution towards the cleanness of the environment is one of the elements which heavily contributes to the CO2 emission. Along with that is introducing the new products which carries less CO2 per ton of cement or per cubic meter of concrete. So all of these are initiatives that we are working on. And as we said, we have started the journey by the first mile. The journey is very long, but I strongly believe with the level of commitment of Wholesome as a group, of Lafarge Africa and in the Nigerian society, we will be progressing quite impressively over the coming few years.
Okay, thank you very much for your response, sir. Thank you. We'll just take one more question before we finish this session, because we are pressed for time. So this is a question from also a market analyst. During your last Facts Behind the Sustainability Report presentation, there are questions raised about dust pollution around some of Lafarge Africa facilities. How has the company addressed this during the last year?
Well, it goes along with the same discussion we just had. We had an issue with the Evekoro Line 1 in late 2020. We decided to stop the line for 9 months. We fixed the problem. We invested over $8 million to reduce the CO2 emission and get it in compliance with the local government regulations. So this is one of the big tickets that demonstrates our commitment to that. On the other elements, we are keeping a very close eye on respecting all the regulation and regulatory KPIs of the government. This is one element, plus our own initiatives really to take a further milestone to be competitive with the net zero emission task over the coming years until 2030. Hopefully in 2022, by the end of the year, we will be demonstrating some good news about CO2 emission reduction in some of our products, as well as launching some of our green products in the market as well.
Thank you very much for your response, sir. We'll take a few questions, a few more questions. As just, I think we have about 2 more questions we can accommodate. This is, okay, it says, how is Lafarge Africa positioning to ensure that it aligns with the Climate Change Act 2021? What key initiatives have the company implemented to ensure that it aligns with the requirements of the Climate Change Act 2021? Over to you, sir.
I'm not sure about the question in which regard, because as we mentioned in our report, we are in full compliance with the local Nigerian regulations. We are within the standards, and we are working towards the 2030 ESG global objectives. And this is where we are maintaining a certain level of CO2 emission per ton of cement produced, as well as the level of introducing the recycling and the waste management in a contribution, the green, increasing the recycled water utilization. So all of these elements, and our target is tranched into 2 parts. We have mid objectives, which is addressing 2025, and then the full-fledged of the objectives in line with the group objectives is addressing 2030.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for this explanation. So we can accommodate it like about 3 questions before we get into the closing gong ceremony. One question from Solomon Kugbe. He's asking, we have seen the half-year results of Lafarge Africa and the performance is encouraging. Should your shareholders be expecting interim dividend anytime soon?
Well, I would like really to maintain today's event for the sustainability. We are introducing our strong financial elements by improving our society and community. So I wouldn't really engage with the financial discussions on that side. I would rather keep it to the sustainability part.
Thank you for your response, sir. I'm going to select one more question from the Q&A box. So this is from Douglas Kati. He's asking, he's saying, thank you for embracing the sustainability challenge and using the GRI standards. Would be great to present the performance metrics in the context of set targets or benchmarks or past performance to help understand continuous improvements and or material issues presenting challenges.
This is actually one of the things that we are working on, and internally it's becoming part of our organization budget, that we set the KPIs, the milestones, the 8 years plan until 2030 with trackable tools to be able to make sure that we are continuously monitoring our improvement on the sustainability and the ESG pillars. So yes, I can assure you it's becoming part of our internal objectives as an organization to address the financial KPIs as well as the monetary KPIs and put the right tools for tracking them.
Okay. Thank you very much for your response, sir. One more question. This is from Tosin Awonusi. They're asking, besides inadequate data monitoring points, ESG data quality has been a challenge when it comes to reporting. Please, I would like to know what strategies Lafarge is taking to ensure quality ESG data are analyzed and reported. Also, how do Lafarge ensure ESG reporting captures both success and failures in meeting its goals? Over to you, sir.
Well, if we're talking about the ESG goals from a government perspective, of course, the government is monitoring us. We are not monitoring the government. So we rely on the information published. We trust the information published, and we had several meetings with Her Highness and all the people responsible about the ESG in Nigeria, and we were extremely happy with the meeting and the assurance that the government is putting in place to look after the development of the ESG goals over the coming few years. From our end, we make sure that whatever we publish are the figures that we are committed to, which is well tracked, well demonstrated, and can be substantiated. So that's from our end. So as far as what we publish in our report, there is a high level of assurance that these are the accurate numbers.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your response, sir. The final question before we move into the next session of the event. This is from Owalu Sagagi. He's saying, please, what is your waste disposal strategy as against environmental degradation?
Well, it's in full compliance. I mean, and I would really encourage people to arrange with the TT on our side. We can host some of the shareholders or stakeholders or financial institutions who are interested to visit our plant. We are very proud of the facilities we have in Evekoro. We are putting other facilities in our other plants. But as far as we speak now, Evekoro is a well-established recycling facility, and with all of our pleasure, we can host visits for people to see the quality, the handling, the environmental controls that we ensure is in place. Health and safety is one of the big elements that also we take care of when we are handling waste and recycled materials. So more than happy to arrange visits for interested financial institutions and analysts and stakeholders really to come and see our facilities.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Apologies for the mix-up with the time. We still have a few more minutes to accommodate some questions. One from a market analyst here is, affordable housing is a critical sustainable development issue for Africa. An article from today's dailies stated that the housing deficit in Nigeria is estimated to be about 20 million and 22 million. What is Lafarge Africa doing to address this housing deficit in Nigeria?
We are trying to support on different levers, and I would really encourage people to visit our website, because parallel to the sustainability initiatives that we are running also a quarter events called Concrete Ideas, where it's mainly addressing affordable housing initiatives, how to mitigate collapse of houses, how can we improve the building structures with less cost, more durability, and definitely addressing the sustainability and the green initiatives in these elements. From our end, we are looking at different initiatives. One of them is producing a more green, less expensive concrete to be able to reduce the housing cost. We are looking at 3D printing as one of the initiatives that could attract affordable housing. We are looking at collaboration actually with construction companies and stakeholders, where we can reconstruct the construction codes to be able to accept less CO2 content cement and more affordable in terms of housing. And this will be mainly addressing the 1 or 2 floors accommodation. It will not be part of the high rises. But Lafarge Africa really works with a lot of stakeholders on the government side, on the state side, as well as our partners on construction companies and material suppliers, to be able to develop initiatives that can address the affordable housing concerns.
Thank you very much for your response, sir. So more questions. We noticed from your materiality matrix that the high priority sustainability issues are mostly environmental. Does this imply that social issues are not high priority for Lafarge Africa? And what priority does Lafarge Africa give to its social issues and community engagement issues?
Well, I don't want to be theoretical in my answer. I would rather to be more practical. Without clean environment, without clean air, the degradation coming is much more severe. It doesn't mean that we don't pay attention to the social part or to the people part, but we strongly believe, like all the world now are talking, that environment and climate is becoming a real challenge for even the sustainability of everyday living. And that's why one of our biggest focus, of course, is how can we contribute to a better environment and better climate that directly will impact the well-being of the people and the planet. Along with that, we do have our own initiatives on the social part. And as Titi mentioned in her presentation, in 2021, we have spent more than 2 billion naira on social activities, addressing different domains, from training, from education, from illiteracy campaigns, from supporting medical supplies, and so on and so forth. So it's not a matter of which is more important than the other, but definitely when we talk about climate and environment, we think it's worldwide a real challenge in the coming years, that if we don't act fast about it, it might be a little bit late.
Okay. Question from Emmanuel Odedina. He's asking, how can we have access to these reports for detailed reading and educational use as he's a doctoral candidate in business administration? Then one important question here. Sorry?
No, Titi can give the guidance for that, I think.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
The reports are available on the Lafarge website. I think the entire report with the statements is all included on the Lafarge website.
Great, thank you very much. We have a question from Victor Essien. Policy advocacy and partnerships are key to reaching net zero. How has Lafarge over the past year managed to achieve this? Over to you, sir.
Well, I mean, it's more or less what we have been discussing. Our initiatives is towards the net zero. We have a midterm plan which is targeting 2025 with certain fixed KPIs, and then our ultimate goal is fixed by 2030, where we can reach a net zero target or objective. It's a year-over-year progress. We monitor our reduction in CO2 emission per ton or per cubic meter produced. We monitor how can we recycle more of the water that we can use, how can we help the environment by more seeding and plantation, how can we use more healthy products in terms of waste to generate heat and substitute gas and diesel and alternative fuels is one of our focus in the coming years.
Thank you very much, sir, for your responses. We have come to the end of this Q&A session. I'd like to thank the attendees for the questions so far and for the facts behind the sustainability report presentation. Titilope Ogunsuga, thank you for that presentation. As we bring the event to a close, I'd like to invite our Divisional Head Business Support Services Division, Mrs. Irene Robinson Ayanwale, for the closing remarks. Over to you, Ma.
Thank you very much, Loretta. Please allow me to stand on existing protocols. It is a privilege to deliver the closing remarks and extend a vote of thanks at today's virtual facts behind the sustainability report. We commend Lafarge Africa PLC, the board and management, Mr. Khalid El Dokani, Country Chief Executive Officer, and the corporate sustainability team for the impactful initiatives and programs they have introduced in implementing the ESG principles of the company. These initiatives and programs have not only aligned with best practice, but also put the company forward as a pace setter. Some of the initiatives and programs we have heard today, and they include the company's transition towards integrated reporting and the steps they are taking towards achieving net zero emissions. These demonstrate a strong commitment for going ahead of compliance and leading the charge in addressing climate change and its impact. We extend our thanks to those who have joined us across various online platforms and those who have interacted by sharing their interventions and questions in the course of this event. Your presence is a testament to the importance of ESG and the fact that it is out today and out tomorrow. Our role at the exchange is to support our listed companies and provide capacity building opportunities for them to grow their competence in ESG reporting. The overarching objectives for us is to see more companies approach and embrace sustainability from a knowledge perspective, realizing how much impact and value they are able to create for their respective businesses and stakeholders. We, on our own part, will continue to strengthen our collaborations with organizations such as the Sustainable Stock Exchange Initiative, United Nations Global Compact, Global Reporting Initiative, and Principles for Responsible Investment to build capacity within our markets to drive the adoption of sustainable business practices across our ecosystem. So we look forward to more listed companies hosting their facts behind the sustainability report to promote the growth of sustainability reporting across our ecosystem. Thank you all for listening, and back to you, Loretta, for the closing gong. Thank you.
Irene, thank you very much for your comments and your remarks. Let me again use this opportunity to thank Mr. El Dokani and the team from Lafarge. Of course, particularly also Titi Oguntuga. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. And just to reiterate, we're glad for setting the pace really amongst our listed corporate around sustainability reporting. And we look forward to your very next update. With that, we'll just go on break for just a few seconds before we get to 2:30, where we'll bring the markets to a close. Just at the dot of 2:30, I'd just like to invite everybody who is here. Actually, now we can go ahead and just turn on our videos. And once the gong comes in, I'll allow Mr. Dokani to bring the market to a close today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Papola. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that gong and that bell is what you would have heard if we were doing this physically on the floor of the exchange. We are glad that you joined us today. Thank you again. And Mr. El Dokani, I'll just have you say a few words before we bring this formally to a close.
Well, I cannot extend more of my appreciation, Mr. Popola, for the Nigeria Exchange. We are glad to be a good member of the society. We admire very much your commitment towards promoting the companies who are committed not only to the financial results, but also to the core values of how we do our business, which is people, environment, and how to protect our environment in Nigeria and to be better for the people on the planet. It's much, much appreciated. I really look forward to next year's report where we can demonstrate our further commitment and solidify our contribution to the society in Nigeria. Much, much appreciated. I would like to thank all the people who have participated. Thanks so much for the questions. And I have sensed how much it's a valuable topic for a lot of people, the financial analysts, the stakeholders. We love the questions, and we would, as Lafarge Africa and our communication and sustainability department, would love to receive any of your questions, any of your queries as shareholders, as stakeholders that wants to know more and learn about sustainability initiatives that we are demonstrating. Our role is not only to promote Lafarge Africa in this regard, but also we can extend our knowledge and service to any other interested stakeholders and companies that could come and contribute towards this valuable cause towards sustainability and climate. It's always our pleasure to be here, and I look forward to the coming opportunities.
Thank you so much, Mr. Al-Dokani. And with that, we bring this event now to a close, and I wish everybody well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.